Hi, I'm Carrie Nor Mallory.
Hi, I'm Michael Chach.
Hi, I'm Danielle Hunter.
Hi, I'm Caleb Stripes.
Hello, my name is Carrie Nor, and I will be introducing our team project ProJo. ProJo is an application designed to easily create and store invoices. This application can be used by a variety of independent contractors, small business owners, consultants, or short-term workers. But we wanted to make sure that even the least technical person could easily enter a few pieces of information and with a few clicks, produce professional, printable invoices that can track when the invoice was sent and if payment had been received. As we developed the look and flow of our application, we wanted to continue the theme of simplicity to even be translated into our color scheme, page layout, and number of fields to request information from a user. Before my project partners explain some of the features of this application, I want to offer you examples of potential users to help frame some of the decisions that were made in our design. Let's give you Emily. She currently has a full-time job, but uses her web development skills as a side job for additional income by making websites for other small business owners. But she is not so familiar with creating invoices. Emily just wants to create her product and invoice her clients as quickly after the contract is signed or the job is completed. Or James, he is also a small business owner and he is his only employee. He's a plumber that generally serves his and surrounding neighborhoods. He doesn't like to fuss with computers, but he understands that some level of technology will have to be used to help run his business. And now I will introduce Caleb, who will tell you a little more about how ProJo invoices are created.
As part of the main purpose of our application, we created a tool to generate new invoices. We needed to do this in a way that could allow users to store, access, and print their generated invoices. From the profile menu, one can navigate to the invoice creation form. The creation of an invoice provides our application with a robust and functional piece of data. While it requires the input of information, it also has a lot going on behind it to ease the use of the software. The contractor info is brought in automatically from the profile using TimeLeaf. The first field needing manual input of information from the contractor is the general date. Elsewhere in the form, there are fields more specific to each job included in the invoice. There are a few functions behind this aspect of our feature. A button that adds additional HTML elements that represent the sets of job information. They are generated to have identical fields while each set has a unique ID. A delete button tied to each set will remove the entire set from the form, and a function to take the values from all the amount due fields and calculate a total. To allow for additional information, a field for notes has been included at the bottom of the invoice. Finally, there's a submit button that executes a number of functions, ultimately sending the data to the Java backend where it is assimilated into the appropriate repositories for storage until called for use. Now I'll pass it off to Mike, who will tell you what we can do with the information after we create it.
The My Invoices view is where a contractor can see a simple list of all the invoices they've created. The contractor can see specific elements like the date of the invoice, the total amount due, and payment status, but they can also get a preview of the first two service items on each invoice. For this page, we used the model view controller pattern. We're using the Spring framework with JPA, an H2 database, and TimeLeaf to pull and display updated data from our back-end Java repositories to our front-end HTML views. The CSS styles for this page used grid and flex for layout. Using a JavaScript function, we are able to create individual links for invoices. These links hit specific REST API endpoints, which we use to populate the respective invoice data into a new view. When viewing a single invoice, there are three actions available to a contractor. They can print the invoice. This opens up a print window with the invoice. It's formatted for printing by applying specific CSS styling to the page. The contractor can also mark an invoice sent or paid. This action updates the data on the back end of our application using a JavaScript function and an invoice controller to make the update. It also gives the contractor a visual indication of the invoice payment status. Going back to the invoice list, we can see now that the status of the invoice has been updated. I'll now pass it off to Danielle to talk about the customer profile feature.
With our profile page, we have given the user the ability to access their saved preferences for their login information, as well as their personal info to populate to their invoices. With the personal info dropdown, the user can enter in their information such as name, address, and phone number, which will save and be available to view on the invoice. Previously entered information is pulled from the back end of the application using Timeleaf, which makes all of this possible. The user also has the option to change their security information, such as the email and password they would like to use for login purposes. In the future, we plan to add more personalized features, such as preferred payment options, after services are rendered to include on the invoice. We would also like to add notification preferences on how to receive notifications about invoices, messages, and updates. Now I will hand it over to Carrie Nora for our conclusion.
Thank you, Danielle. Our team worked 100% remotely from start to finish for this project. And as a team, we are proud of the product we were able to produce without even being in the same room with each other. We use the Agile Scrum methodology to help manage our process of developing our ideas and organizing project deliverables for each of our sprints. We use Google Jamboard for brainstorming and sharing ideas for our storyboard. Slack was utilized to communicate and complete our daily stand-ups. Peer programming and screen sharing, especially via Visual Studio, was also significant in our process. And of course, Git and GitHub was used to manage version control as our code evolved. We hope that you enjoy viewing our presentation. We would like to thank you for taking the time to learn about ProJo, and we look forward to answering your questions. Thank you.